Yeah. Okay. So let's get what a reaction. What's going to be the discussion?
Well, we were supposed to. I thought we were going to do something about reentry. However, if we don't do anything about reentry, what would you like to talk about?
Well, one of the things is all this COVID-19 stuff and how they dealing with everybody. You know they're passing all these bogus laws or ordinance to the government and city, state, federal, city.
What bogus laws?
Well, okay, for example, you know that all the COVID-19 laws that are considered a felony are really, all they doing is putting them on another charge. For example, let's take the lady out in, I don't know if you heard about the lady out in Texas. They locked her up for about a week because she refused to shut down her salon.
Yep.
Okay, but there's no such law. They use another law to do that. So now I want you to think about this. She would have not, she went to jail on a supposedly coronavirus law that really doesn't exist.
What is the coronavirus law?
Whatever. Okay, but whatever it was.
Okay,
that they
hold on. Let me sort this out for a minute. So what you're saying is that the government and or law enforcement agencies are putting forth a message that there are coronavirus laws, and when people violate them, they come and lock them up, and it turns out that those coronavirus laws are not on the law book, so they're actually being locked up under a different statute.
Right, because they had to use a pre-existing law, but on the pretense it's a coronavirus law. And like I said, whether it's the government, federal government, state agency, or city, or county, whatever. So has she committed a real crime, she wouldn't have went to jail because of, say for example, she would have committed possession of drugs. She wouldn't have went to jail. They would have released her, gave her a court hearing, and she would have went to jail. But since she didn't commit an actual crime in this coronavirus panic, they locked her up. It took the Texas Supreme Court to release her. They said, this is not right. There is no such law, but you're using it. But that segues into what they're doing in the prisons and jails with the inmates. They're not even second class citizens anymore. Now it's third class citizens. They say they're not entitled to any kind of medical relief or any of that because of this virus. So what's up with that?
I'm reading about it.
Well, I would think
Where
that there's some emergency powers installed in every level, of government and law enforcement for situations where it affects it's for the overall good.
Okay, right now I'm looking at it. The Dallas owner was found in criminal contempt of court. So that was what she was charged with. The reason why, let's see.
Because she went there and showed her ass in the courtroom.
There was, Abbott issued a variation of a stay-at-home order March 31st that expired on April 30th. Non-essential businesses were closed and gatherings were limited. So there was a stay-at-home order that was given by the governor. And then the governor said that businesses were needing to be closed, non-essential. But then it's strange because the governor then said that people can't be jailed for violating statewide executive orders. So he said nobody can open based on his executive order, but then said nobody has to follow his executive order.
Right, but back to what Robert was saying, it all comes under the privilege of executive order under martial law.
Sure, I wouldn't say martial law. I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
martial
look,
law.
let's agree for this, right? The actual real world implications are very similar to martial law. Okay, however, it isn't martial law because martial law, by the very word, is military rule. That's what martial is. Martial is
Right.
military rule. It's not military rule. Now, it is effectively limiting people's freedom and liberty, but this is a matter of great public importance. This is a matter of national health, right?
Right, I understand that, but
There's
that's
a
where
guy, look, there's a guy right down here, Broward County, who is running his barbershop because he's been out of work for over a month, didn't get his first stimulus check, didn't get his first unemployment check. So he's thinking, man, listen, I'd rather pay the fine and make money than not pay the fine and lose money. So, you know, it's a bizarro world. That's all you can say. Right now, everything is willy-nilly.
right, but here's what the point that I
Yeah.
was making, because it comes under that. Okay, like I said, we're going to go back to deriving from the federal government all these executive orders the president gave, but then he said the sovereignty of the.
I'll be back.
Okay, are you there, Michelle?
I'm there.
Okay,
But are we recording this?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. But anyway, but my point being this, that this is the big fight that the President Trump had with the governors. We have federal laws, but then he said each state in the union is sovereign, and each governor had to make their own decisions about closing and opening up.
Right now, but
But it ties into and it segues into about civil disobedience. By no way, shape,
There's
or
a difference about civil disobedience when there
participate?
isn't a
You wanna
negative
participate? You wanna tell
outcome
us some
in
stuff about what's
terms of
happening in jail
public
right now?
health. I mean, there's civil disobedience in order
Yeah, do you want to? I'll have you-
further
look, man, 'cause
rights,
we got
but
a
the rights
YouTube
are in
channel. We're
place.
gonna
They're
post
just
this, so you wanna be
suspended
part of
in
it?
terms of making sure that people don't gather in
No,
public
we are gonna
places
post
more than
this
10,
video
and salon
on
owners
YouTube.
being on top of each other with their
So
their
would you like
clients.
to be part
I don't
of
know if
the
you've been
video?
to a salon, but salons generally, the hairdresser
What do you want
is
to talk
right
about? You
here,
want to talk about
the
what's
nail
going on in
lady is
prison
right
with the
over you.
coronavirus?
And
I mean, in
honestly,
jail
it's
or
the
what? Which one
owners
tell
that
us?
want to open, the people themselves that are doing a lot of the hair cutting
All
and
right,
all this
hold
other
on a
stuff.
minute.
You have some that want to open, but you have other ones that are like, I don't want to go back. I would rather go and get,
Okay,
you know,
excuse me.
Uh-huh.
We've got a little bit of breaking news. Right here on my phone is an inmate in the Broward County Jail. That's right. Can you hear me, Nate?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you guys hear Nate?
yeah.
I can hear Nate.
All right. Well,
What's up,
Nate,
Nate?
go ahead and introduce yourself. This is YouTube.
Okay, well, my name is Renee DeSantis. I'm an inmate in the main jail. And I would like to give y'all a brief on what's going on in here.
Go right ahead. Tell the people.
Man, this is what's going on in here. It's crazy. Doesn't make any sense. This is a complaint that I'm giving y'all. Since I've been in this county jail, you know what I mean, it's been so many violations. But it's amazing that now that the coronavirus is here, they're doing less cleaning than they was doing before the coronavirus came. Hold on. Listen,
Now, hold up. Excuse me, Nate. Let me set this up for the people. Right now, you're on the telephone, right? How are you able to use the phone today? Is it normal operations? Are you coming out like regular, or how are you out on the phone right now?
What they have been doing, they've been letting us come out an hour in
One-
the daytime and an hour in the evening time.
Is that everybody, or is it segregated?
Huh?
Is everybody out for the hour right now? Is everybody out, or is it just a few people out, or is it just you? How is this going on?
They let 2 rooms out at a time. They have the top chair and the bottom chair in this one unit.
Okay.
They let 2 rooms. They let room 1 and room 7 go, for example.
Okay.
Top chair and the bottom chair come out, and when they hour done, they go in the bottom chair and top chair. So it's 4 people out.
Okay.
4 people out.
All right. Okay. So now there's only 4 people out at a time. You guys come out for an hour, then you go back in, and then you get to come out again later on for an hour, maybe.
That's
For an
crazy.
hour. We come out for an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
We had to fight for that because they were trying to do 50 minutes.
Okay, so now that's how it is right now. It's in the Broward County main jail. There's only 4 people coming out at a time, and it's for an hour each time. Now, during that hour, you have some resources available. You have a telephone call. You can shower, use the kiosk. So you pretty much got to cram everything you usually do in a day into a 1-hour segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it is. All right, I just wanted to frame that for the people. Now go ahead and take off, man, and tell it to them how you want to tell it to them.
Okay, like I was saying, they're not cleaning like they're supposed to in here. We've been complaining, writing grievances, but being that the people that work here, they're so lax. You know, their workers and co-workers are so friendly with each other. Their supervisors, that they're not getting on each other about keeping us safe and preventing coronavirus. You actually have people that are getting moved in here that had the coronavirus or had a roommate that exposed them to coronavirus. They're moving them in here, and they're not even making sure that they're not cleaning the place up when they walk, when everybody go in, and they're causing cross contamination. In the morning, the showers are not being cleaned. That's something they usually used to do. They usually used to have these guys that they call trustees. Trustees are guys that come out and clean up. They're not letting these guys even come out and clean up in the morning time. So we have to be stuck with going in the shower that someone else we've been using all day yesterday. And we're also touching all of these devices, what we come out to use, the telephone, the kiosk, the visitation booth, the tables. All of these things can have coronavirus on the surfaces. And they're not coming in and even cleaning it up. They're not doing anything to keep us safe. And we're just sitting here powerless, like sitting ducks, waiting to die.
And see,
waiting to catch this disease, this virus.
The truth of this is like this. When you fail to take steps to prevent something, you actually are taking steps to further it. So by failing to clean the Broward County Jail right now, they are actually furthering the opportunity for more people to be affected and eventually, I would say, hazardously impacted by the coronavirus.
Yes.
Did he say that they were doing less cleaning than before the coronavirus?
Yes, see, what happened was, Pink wrote it up, right?
Right.
Pink told them about the issue about them, the cross-contamination, that y'all keeping y'all officer stations clean, y'all cleaning up every time y'all come in there, but y'all not doing that for us. So they had them they told the deputy, and the deputy told us, we're going to make sure that we clean it in the morning clean the showers in the morning, everything else in the morning before y'all come out. Let y'all each get y'all hours, and then when y'all going, and after every hour that we walk around and somebody goes back in their room, we're gonna make sure that we spray everything for the next people to come out. You know what I mean? So that they don't have they don't catch no corona, or they're preventing it. But they haven't been doing that. You know what I mean? They did it one time, and then after that, they ain't doing it no more. The supervisors are not getting on top of the housing deputies and which is supposed to be the sergeant, and the hires that's above the sergeant is getting on them.
All right.
So this is what we're going through.
Let me just say this again. This is an inmate, who you are hearing right now is an inmate calling from the Broward County Jail. This is information coming straight from the Broward County Jail. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they're not even spraying our roof. Sometimes they'll do, but we got to fight them to do this. If we don't fight them and make noise, kick on the door, or tell them to get a supervisor in here, they're not going to do this. They're going to be lax in their job, and they're going to mess around and make us catch coronavirus in here. We're in the quad that they did a whole month of evaluation for coronavirus. They did a whole month of this for over 30 days now, maybe, or over 4 weeks, and nobody in here had any symptoms. You know what I mean? But they still got us on lockdown. They're not letting us out. They're not doing all they're doing is doing this hour thing. And I don't even know if this is the only place, is the Broward County main jail the only place that's doing this hour thing now, or they're doing it anywhere, because this place tends to always be last for everything. You know what I mean? And they always have an exaggerating response only when it's in their benefit. When it's in our benefit, they're lax and they do not care, period.
So you're saying that they tested there's 24 people in your unit, right? You have 12 cells.
Yeah.
So they tested all 24 people, and all 24 people came back negative, and yet you still are segregated from each other.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
see, I would think, just give me a second here. I would think that once you have 24 people who you know are healthy and you know are clean, I would keep those 24 away from everybody else, but I would let them mingle amongst themselves because now it's just punishment. If you know everybody in this unit is clean, they could all watch TV together and still be clean. They could all watch all these other places. Now, have they come in and tested since then?
What they've been doing, well, as far as like testing for coronavirus, no. What they've been doing, they've been testing for symptoms.
Right. So now, really,
like I'm gonna show you what they do. They take blood pressure, see
Right.
where you have fever.
right. Now, see,
They haven't done that in a few weeks now, though. It's over with because they know that we all passed it.
and the only, I won't say the factual way, but the most probable way that you could be exposed to corona would be by exposure to a deputy. Isn't that correct?
No, hey,
Right now, because nobody in here has it.
Right.
but what about this? How are they getting their meals? What kind of meals they're getting? Because most likely they're getting served their meals or being prepared their meals by other inmates, other sections of the jail.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the whole segregation is just a farce. It's really used for punishment more than anything else. It serves
Well,
no
it's
other
used-
purpose.
It's used to cut down because you can't be perfect at trying to stop it. There's no way because we're humans, we're social, we're required to be around other people. But the thing is they put all these things in place to slow it down.
Right.
So it's not to completely prevent it. We can't completely
me-
prevent it.
Let me do a little bit of introductions right here too. On the phone right now is Renee DeSantis. He's an inmate he's a Florida state prison inmate. He's being housed in the Broward County Jail while he's on appeal of his conviction. Nate, over here on my side is Michelle Fortier. She is a former mental health specialist that worked in the DOC for 8 years. Now she's in private practice and she aids in reentry. And also is Urbano Rebus. He is a juvenile homicide offender. He went to prison when he was 17, and back when they were still resentencing juveniles in Florida, he was released after serving 34 years. So now everybody knows everybody, and we can go back to chopping it up how we were. The name of this show, Nate, is Chop It Up. It's on a YouTube station, and it's 4 of us that talk about stuff. We all have been involved in prison. We talk a lot of stuff about what's going on in prison and stuff in the free world, and we try to bring the two worlds together. So you calling today is the perfect mix. It takes us right where we want to be. So go ahead, man. Just keep on spitting.
Okay, I want to know when is the show available? So when I do need to call, and I need to give y'all some new facts that's going on in here. You know what I mean? When can I call and give these facts?
I'll tell you like this. When you want to get the whole panel, you would call on Fridays. However, if you call me, I can set it up where you and I can talk, and I can tape it, and I can put it into the show. So.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's basically what's going on right now, man. They're so lax about this coronavirus, and we're in here paranoid because we're watching on television, we're seeing how many people died, we're hearing about the suffering that they're going through, but still, we're not getting the appropriate aid.
Are you getting masks?
Nate, Michelle wants to know if you're wearing a mask.
If you get masks.
Yes, I'm wearing a mask. It took them weeks to give us a mask.
How often do they?
Disposable masks that don't even last.
How often do they change them?
You're supposed to wear these for 4 hours or something, and they're done. So I guess they just give it to us, and I guess for comfort and purpose.
How often do you change the mask?
I mean, they changed them once so far. They changed them once so far, since we've been doing this in the last, I think, month.
So you've had 2 masks in a month. So you wear a mask for 15 days.
That's pointless.
Yeah, that could be the equivalent.
Yeah, you see, and that's just an empty gesture. That's so they could just say they did.
What about visits?
It's for paperwork. It's just for paperwork. Make it look good on paper.
No, they've had the video visit in the Broward County Jail for years. There's no contact visits. But let me ask you a question. How long has it been since anybody physically went to a courtroom?
Yeah, in weeks.
Long time. What about
the courtroom down?
how are they conducting attorney visits?
They're conducting it through. I've been seeing people give visits on the visitation screen
With their attorney.
with their attorney.
And those visits are recorded.
Yeah, they are recorded.
So
I don't know if the attorney is preserving any rights.
So in essence, it's safe to say that the coronavirus has become a watershed excuse for denial of access to the court, because confidential communication with your attorney is a vital part of access to the court.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey, you hear me?
Yes.
You know who else is a great person to join this show and would like to have who has a lot to say?
Who's that?
Is Pink.
Who?
Pink.
Pink. Yes.
Yeah, Pink.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
You let them guys know that if you let me know ahead of time, I can be at my house and have the software up and running, and I can preserve the conversation and have it on the show.
Okay. And you say on Fridays, right?
No, well, Fridays is when the panel gets together. But if you let me know, like if you say you're going to call, say, Monday at a certain time, I'll be home and have the laptop up and running so I can get it on deck.
Okay. So I just pre-warn you and
Let me know.
I kind of like him being on the panel.
Are you kind of liking being on the panel?
Yeah. What do you think, Revis?
Yeah, I like that idea. Hey, what about their canteen privileges? Have they suspended those?
Well, this what happened with that. I put in a mad damage about what canteen, what they doing it right now. I put in a grievance because what they're doing, they're giving the next shift or very rarely this shift our canteen already bagged up and the people already checked it, right? And when the people check it, they circle the items you have missing. So what they've been doing, they've been giving us our canteen bags, but there've been items missing in there, and we can't do nothing about it but grieve it. But being that the person that checked it did not circle the items that's missing, we have to take losses.
And see, there's a better way they could do that. Because look, just so for everybody at home, there is a window from floor to ceiling that separates the hallway from the day room area where the inmates have access. So a canteen worker can put the bag inside the day room. The inmate can come out, open it in front of them. Basically, there's only a glass wall. So you can see the inmate, you can do the inventory. So there's ways that the inmate's rights can be represented fairly. Instead, again, they're using the coronavirus as a watershed excuse to trample on inmates' rights. That's basically what's happening.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they can do. But instead of doing that, they just give us the bag, and if it's missing, oh well, it's on you. We gave you the canteen.
What about?
They do that all the time. They do that with everything. That's how they move.
What about mail? Mail privileges.
Mail been so late. You got mail been 3 weeks late. Some people waited a month. I've been waiting on mail right now for going on 2 weeks. I've been waiting on mail. And everybody else has been too. Everybody been complaining that sometimes it coming a little on time, but most of the time it's coming in late.
Hey, look, here comes Barry.
Barry's in the.
Barry's about to show up.
How about the meals? Have they changed the meals up because of coronavirus?
They did breakfast like that because they usually on Sundays, the days that they give us oatmeal or grits have been taken away. They only give us cereal. They give us cereal, especially coaches. Coaches get cereal every day.
Okay, what about this? Can we say, has there been one positive change with this coronavirus?
Nothing at all. Nothing positive. Everything been nothing but stress and neglect.
All right, hold on a second. Barry's here. Barry has just joined the discussion. Barry, we are on the phone. We are on the phone with an inmate from the Broward County Jail who is giving us on the scene information and updates about the coronavirus and how they are interpreting the coronavirus as a means to just trample all over inmate rights. Go ahead,
I can feel that.
Yeah. that's basically what's going on. It's the same thing that's been going on. Neglect. They're not gonna make sure that anything is benefiting us as far as mental health, physical health, or even spiritual health. They're not accommodating us for anything, and they're not doing anything that they're supposed to do concerning the coronavirus. They're just being extreme with things that benefit them as far as them being lazy, and they're being lax on everything that's supposed to benefit us.
Okay, here's a question for you. What about this news that we hear that they RORing people because of the coronavirus?
All right. Hey, everybody, we got 10 minutes left. Just so we got 10 minutes left.
Well, where I'm at right now, on the floor that I'm on, most guys here got pretty serious charges.
Right. Yes.
I heard it was guys with lower custody, but I don't know. I haven't seen anybody.
For everybody listening, Nate is housed in what is called the lifer cell. That's like the nickname. Most people who come back from prison with more than 30 years are housed there. And if you get sentenced to more than 30 years, there's a chance you may end up over there before you get shuffled off to prison. Or if you're a troublemaker and you get in so much trouble everywhere else, they just put you in the lifer cell and that's it. So he's really in a special interest group. So guys who get locked up off the street usually don't come in contact with Nate in his cell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but also it's like, look at the situation with Tony. You know what I mean? Tony's an older guy. I think Tony's in his 80s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Tony's in his 80s, and I don't understand they still got him in here with this. And then they're bringing people in here that had roommates that had the coronavirus. And they know that these guys had roommates, like two guys that they brought in here. They know that these guys was with someone that had the coronavirus, so they moved them away from there and put them in a unit where nobody had it. Nobody had it. They jeopardized us, and then they're not properly cleaning the place. It's as if they want to contaminate us purposely.
Wow.
And what they doing with y'all as far as sterilization and whatnot?
He said, are they sterilizing anything?
Nah, they're not doing it. They very lax in that. Like right now, the showers, you got people using their hour that they're supposed to get out to clean the showers when it's not supposed to be like that. You got people using their hour that they have. People usually, this is what the hour consists of. You take a shower, that's going to take 20 minutes. You get on the phone, that's going to take 30 minutes. Then you have 10 minutes to get on the kiosk and do what you need to do, and then that's it. But people have to sacrifice their hour to clean up the shower because these people would not let the trustees out. You know what I mean? Because really, the deputy's supposed to do it themselves. But what they do, they use trustees as agents to go ahead and clean for them so they don't have to get sweaty. And we don't mind that as long as you let them out to do the job, but they're not doing that. So all the services that I'm on right now, I haven't seen anybody clean any of them.
So you're saying that while a person is only given 1 hour in the morning to take care of all of his personal needs, call his family, take a shower, order canteen, whatever that may be, he's having to sacrifice some of that time to do a community service to clean the shower?
Yes, that's exactly what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that just shows what I said from the beginning, that to a lot of people, jail and prison is a they problem. It's a they problem.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
It is. It is. It's a day problem. That's exactly what it is. You're absolutely right.
And what's going to happen when these guys end up getting sick? Not only is it going to the actual opportunity for loss of life is real, and not just that. Now you're talking about money. So you have people who have protocols in place, and when they fail to uphold these protocols, it places the inmates in jeopardy, and then this healthcare is going to cost even more money. So the implications of the laziness and the lax attitude of the supervisors could go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been going on forever.
Yesterday I had to plead with the sergeant because the deputy lied to him and said that they've been giving us 50 minutes every day and they don't do the showers like that. I had to plead with the man, let him know that I'm back on appeal and I have a high chance of getting out and getting my freedom again. And I told them I do not want to die here behind coronavirus. I want to get out there to my family. I had to make him review the camera other days to show that that we've been out for an hour, not 50 minutes. We have been out for an hour, not 50 minutes. The reason that they want to make us get 50 minutes, because they're so eager to get us back in the room so they can have two hours of extra time to sit on their behind to do nothing but get on the computer and gossip.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, everybody listen. We got 5 minutes left, and we've been on here chopping it up with Renee DeSantis, an inmate in the Broward County Jail. And he's been giving us the uncut eyewitness accounts of the lack of proper treatment and the lack of proper treatment for inmates and for officers in general. Because for the deputies, I mean, look, you mistreat the inmate, you actually mistreat the deputies too, because the deputies are going to be exposed to the inmates. You let the inmates get sick, the officers get sick. That's just the way it is.
And
And
then
they take it home and they get their family sick.
That's right.
Yep.
And they go home and get their family sick. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, man,
And they get their friends and family sick.
I think this show is a great idea. This is a must needed show. Because you got people in here. These stories need to get out there. This
That's
needs
right.
to be exposed.
That's right.
It has to be, man, because we're being punished in here every day. You know what I mean? We're getting punished in here every day. So many things that they're doing that's arbitrary. They everything they do off impulse.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. It's always reactive. It's never proactive.
That's right.
I thank God that y'all doing this right here, and I'm supporting 100%. And the people that I know that have the proper intelligence to communicate with y'all on this, I'm going to let them know about it, and they're going to give you great insight on it. You know what I mean? And they're very versed with the rules and what's going on with this situation, man. But it's horrible, man, how they treating us. They treating us like as if we don't deserve any dignity. Period. They don't care about our lives, even with the phones. You know what I mean? It's everything in here. Everything in here is just criminal, man. Everything, they just rob us. Everything, rob us of dignity, rob us of our family's money, rob us on a canteen. They won't even allow us to get shoes in here unless we had these therapeutic needs. Hey, how much time we got left?
We only got 3 minutes left. I mean,
3 minutes. Hold
yeah.
on. Let me let Pete say just what's up to y'all real quick.
All right.
He just want to say what's up. Hold on. Hello?
Hey, Pink, introduce yourself to the people. Introduce yourself to the people.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I say introduce yourself to the people.
All right, well, I'm DeMar Pink. I'm in the Broward County Jail right now. I came back on the field right now. Get my freedom back.
That's right.
And I'm sitting in here worrying about the coronavirus situation and what's going on in this Broward County Jail, without help.
Right.
Yeah, it seems to be the status quo. Same old nothing.
What's going on?
No, Nate did a great job of that. I just wanted to get you out there, let you get your feet wet a little bit.
Hey, people, I'm here, man. I'm always here, and I appreciate you kids for giving me the platform, let me introduce myself to the people. There's many guys in here in similar situations, and I hope they got a platform to speak also.
All righty. Hey, well, listen, I want you guys to stay on the line because the meeting is going to be over in a minute. But then we got about 4 more minutes left on the phone call. Let me see.
All right, we appreciate you, fellas.
Yeah.
And here's some food for thought. Just think about all the regimes started with the undesirables. Hitler, Stalin, Castro.
The United States.
Yeah, you can always, you experiment with the undesirables, and if that goes through, then you can just do en masse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That happens to be Revolutionary Revis. He's a new member of the panel today.
And they always said they were gonna better the society.
Yeah. All right. Hold on a second, Pink. We got a minute left.
All right.
I just want you to know, man, I always been a fighter, man. Everybody to know I always been a fighter,
All right. Hold on.
Keep fighting.
We're speaking of Winston Churchill and Joseph early this morning.
All right.
Wow.
Well, we got less than a minute left, guys.
All right.
Had a great
Hey.
show, unexpected
Hey.
and great at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Yes, I'm here.
I'll get the stuff to you as soon as I can, Michelle.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.
Talk to
Yo,
y'all
sis.
later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yes, yes. How you doing,
I'm gonna stay to the end. I'm gonna let him cut me off.
Trying to, it ain't letting me hold up. I'm trying to end the meeting. It ain't let me. Okay, there it is. Hold up a second.
I'm doing the show, sir.
Hold on a second. Hold on.